So this is where I won my championship back.
No, you didn't. This is where we theoretically tied.
We theoretically tied, but this is where the greatest reign in the history of the world is starting right here.
No, it's not, because you won it by roll-up. So we have a guy who...
So Cesaro and Seth Rollins. So number one, the match was fucking excellent.
Well, because of Cesaro.
And Seth Rollins, who can't do a bad match ever. I loved a couple of this stuff in here. I thought these two... Well, number one, they had a really good rivalry going into it. And also, you could feel that intensity with this match, too. And I don't know, I loved it. I loved when Cesaro took off Rollins' glove and shoved it in his mouth and then kicked it across the way.
Yep.
That was really funny.
You know, Cesaro did a Rainmaker, and that was interesting.
Yeah, he did a Rainmaker, full Rainmaker, which, that was very interesting. I loved it. Rollins is just... awesome. I don't know how you can say that. And I'm pretty sure it kind of sucks.
The rivalry's okay, but I feel like they kind of over-egged it. They should have ended it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think they should have as well. Then they tried to do Cesaro and Roman Reigns, and they got cold feet for some reason or another. I don't know why. But it was Rollins with a roll-up to win the match. A very great match. Nobody looked bad.
Was it a good roll-up?
It was a great roll-up.
Was it a good roll-up?
It was the greatest roll-up in the history of wrestling.
Whatever. Jesus Christ. Mick!
That's funny. So, you know, it was a very good match. I really enjoyed this one. I thought these guys worked really hard, and honestly, I think this could rival up to their WrestleMania match. It was just that good of a match.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Let's make this majestic again. Peanut Gallery.
Mick!
All right, let's talk about Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. How do you make this majestic again? Here's my issue. I feel like this was a gigantic wasted opportunity for Kofi Kingston not to turn heel.
And for someone to return. Brock Lesnar.
Right. Now with Drew McIntyre not in title contention, who the fuck can face Bobby Lashley?
Right.
And also, Bobby Lashley needs an opponent for a really cool little event called SummerSlam. And I get it, there's Money in the Bank, but who the fuck is going to face him at Money in the Bank? Nobody.
I don't know.
Build something for WrestleMania. We can go with not a WWE champion on a goddamn card.
Oh no, they're gonna have WWE Championship match.
The fucking Bobby Lashley versus his Drew McIntyre's poop or something. I swear to God.
It's gonna be Bobby Lashley versus MVP in a steel bed match because they fuck each other.
I'd be curious about that, but so yes, with Drew McIntyre out, I just don't know who you would put in this opportunity whatsoever. Once again, here's WWE booking themselves into a gigantic corner.
I'd love to see who Bobby Lashley is going to face between now and SummerSlam, because we know who's going to face SummerSlam.
Right. I'm sorry, there's no other person who can face him.
Who is going to face him in Money in the Bank?
Right. Who is? I don't know. Unless they do a multi-man. But at the same time, why would you do that?
Because you already have multi-man matches happening.
Right. Because you have Money in the Bank matches. You got to have your Money in the Bank matches at Money in the Bank, right?
Right. Thick! That's why I hate gimmick pay-per-views.
Right. It's stupid. Let's book ourselves into a corner.
Right.
Okay. Here's my thing.
They're obviously going to continue this rivalry.
So
they're going to continue this until SummerSlam.
Yes. Why wouldn't you wait until SummerSlam to do this? Let's build a really good fucking show and really good shit, and then do that at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Or, then they build up this pay-per-view and they ruin it with a disqualification.
Right. Instead, okay, here's my thing. If you wanted to do this with a weird bullshit finish, why don't you have them just beat the crap out of each other to where the referee just throws out the whole match, but they just continue and continue and continue, where it's like, oh my God, a match cannot contain them.
Right.
That would be great. And then you automatically set up like unsanctioned or no disqualification match for later.
They're obviously just being way too...
And obviously they're being retarded because they can't do this shit correctly. Like, once again, we make this majestic again, but it's not fucking hard. I already booked a great fucking rivalry there with just them changing the finish of the match.
Or how about you save Charlotte for SummerSlam, because really...
Charlotte has nothing left to prove. Like, here's
the thing, is that someone who is, like they should not have like the same person perform multiple of the same matches with consecutive pay-per-views.
No, they're going to do that.
I know, because that's WWE's MO. There should always be a different opponent at each pay-per-view. The only time you should do a repeat is when someone wins the title from somebody else, and there's a rematch clause.
Right. This was stupid.
This was stupid.
But once again,
so now with my theory, Charlotte Flair should be off contention because she
won.
Right, but
she didn't win the title.
Right, but at the same time, it's just like,
who the fuck is the heel? Right. I mean, Charlotte Flair is clearly the heel, but Rhea Ripley won with a disqualification to keep the title, so she's...
So who's the fucking heel?
This shit is not fucking hard. It's really not.
It's so ambiguous now. Like, who do I cheer for?
Like I said, if you wanted to do something like
I want
a double DQ
I want
and
both
have them contain it.
I want both of them to lose.
Fuck.
I don't care. Fuck.
It's stupid. Anyway, so a match that actually, number one, made sense, and it was a very good match.
It needs to end now.
It's going to. If
they're not going to. They're going to have another rematch because fucking reasons. I
just want them to end it. It's stupid that they're still going with it.
I know.
Why would you continue?
It should have ended at Backlash.
Bayley lost twice.
Yeah.
Why would you continue? But the problem is, who else can go for the belt other
than
Bayley and Sasha Banks?
Nobody can. That's the problem.
And they're waiting for Sasha Banks for God knows what reason. Obviously, there might be some mitigating factors. But at the same time, this is why you build stars. Holy shit. Wow, you guys used to be so fucking good at that, but all of a sudden, you can't fucking see talent from a broadside of a fucking Braun Strowman.
I know, seriously.
God.
Oh, or maybe they're waiting for fucking Becky Lynch to come back.
I mean, she was in the Performance Center, I think, like, the other day. She is training to come back. Great. Fucking awesome.
But God, I swear to God, they're going to have a rematch at Money in the Bank, and it's going to be awful.
Well, they got to do something. And the problem is, here's my thing.
They don't got to do something. They don't have to do anything.
You don't have to have the title on the line at every pay-per-view. You don't. You seriously don't. And it's so stupid that they do.
Right.
Because they're like, oh my God, we have to have Bianca Belair on there every time. Is Bianca Belair fucking drawing money?
No.
Is Bayley drawing money?
No.
The problem is that you have this history-making thing. You killed Bianca Belair's momentum because, okay, she won the belt. Fantastic. Deserves it. Now what?
Right.
Who else is going for Bayley? Okay, that's fine for one pay-per-view. But the problem is, after Bayley, who else is next?
Right.
Who else is there? There's nobody else that I could possibly think.
That's why I got Bayley again, because there's nobody in line behind Bayley.
And we're not saying that is a bad idea. Bayley is an awesome wrestler and a very safe worker and no problem. But at the same time, you can't have it 3 times in a row and expect people to buy 3 times for the same shit.
I know.
This was a Hell in a Cell match, too. That's done. This thing is over.
It's not, according to WWE. I guarantee you that shit, man.
Because WWE is written by monkeys. This match had no right to be as good as it was.
No, absolutely none.
I would not do anything differently.
But they better as fucking hell.
The hokey shit is done. Stop it. There was a way to do supernatural shit without looking like a bunch of retards.
And they better as hell not have a rematch. If you want to continue this rivalry, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax in the next pay-per-view. If you want to continue this rivalry.
Right. Or have, like, Demon Reginald or something facing Shayna Baszler or something. You can't have this match again.
No.
Alexa Bliss has to get rid of this gimmick now.
Right.
But the problem is, here's my thing, and I was going to talk about this, and I'm so excited to. The only person who can take this bullshit away from her is Bray Wyatt. That's it. And obviously, there are mitigating factors of him not being here. I get it. For somebody who suffers with any kind of mental debilitation, I get it. But at the same time, who else can do it?
I got someone better.
Who?
Nikki Cross.
To take away Alexa Bliss's powers.
Yeah.
For her to have them? For her just to get rid of them?
No, just to get rid of them. To turn her back into the heel.
Is she going to take her little Scottish oogly boogly and sprinkle on some bullshit and that will happen?
No.
It probably will. McMahon's probably watching this bullshit and saying, oh my God, we should have fucking Nikki Cross dressed as the fucking fairy god bitch and sprinkle on some oogly boogly, and they're going to. WWE, I claim this, so fuck you. They're going to sprinkle some oogly boogly on Alexa Bliss's fucking face and it's not semen, and boom, done. She's going to be back to fucking sparkly fairy god bitch. So there you go.
Wow. well, way to crap all over my momentum there, but my God. See, here's the thing, too, is that they have to get rid of it because the era of the Thunderdome is coming to an end.
Yes.
So
I 100% agree with you. Okay, so with me and my gigantic rant, how would you do it?
Well, again, you have to bring in someone like, and I'm glad that the era of the Thunderdome is coming to an end.
Right.
Because now they can't do the hokey shits. Because nobody fucking cares about the hokey shits.
Right.
They need someone like Nikki Cross to come in to turn Alexa Bliss into the heel that she was before they teamed together. Then they come into the fray as a heel tag team to give some fresh perspective.
But here's the problem, though. How Alexa Bliss is
the challenge is getting rid of the hokey shit.
Alexa Bliss is so entrenched into this demonic character, she just can't drop it. It's too important. Oh, can you go up and take care of that, please?
No, I'm not going to.
Really?
No.
You gotta. Our Alexa's going off because they keep saying her name, but the problem is she's so distracting.
I know.
So anyway, with Bliss, unfortunately, it's so instrumental to her character, you just can't drop it. There has to be a way for this to break. You got to break her out of this. Unless Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler go into like the other world to get the soul of Alexa Bliss back.
Unfortunately,
I would be okay with that.
Unfortunately, though, they're a little too late to that. They have to do something very drastic to get rid of it, because Bray Wyatt stuff isn't even going to work against her.
So here's
because they can't do the hokey shit when you have live fans in attendance.
Okay, so how long do they have until they have to go back on
like
tour?
2 weeks.
You can do something in 2 weeks. You can.
You can, yes, but it has to be very drastic.
Yes, it would have to be very drastic. I think the thing is that either Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler or both or Reginald have to go in there and see all of it and do a cinematic. That's the only way to do it. They have to face the Alexa Bliss of this in a cinematic match that takes up an hour of Raw to get like the soul or her out of this state. That's the only way to do it. In fact, that would be the best way to do it.
Because otherwise, it's not going to work.
Right, a cinematic would work in this situation. Because you got to get her out of this. She just can't drop it. That's the problem. I think I kind of got all of it out of there. This match was very good, though. I can't really say anything bad about it at all. Let's talk about Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Well, number one, this match shouldn't have happened. I think it should have stopped at WrestleMania. Yep. They continued it because I think they got cold feet with Cesaro. Well, number one, they jumped the Cesaro going for the Universal title way too soon. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns is still way too white hot. And I think Cesaro is still the guy to beat Reigns. Who else can do it?
Right. Nobody.
Exactly.
But Cesaro needs a shot.
He needs another shot, but the problem is that they already fucked up.
Right.
Now, at least with Cesaro is that he passed out. He didn't actually get pinned. He didn't do anything.
Right.
Him losing to Rollins is kind of weird. Unless Rollins is going for the Universal title, which wouldn't make any sense. This match meant nothing. And they did it because they did it. But the problem is that people watch it. And obviously, we're talking about it here. And it just didn't make any sense. The problem is that, number one, I just kind of had a feeling that Rollins was going to win.
Yeah.
They were going to pull off some bullshit with Cesaro. Cesaro needs to fucking leave this stupid company.
I know. If they're not giving him a shot at the WWE or Universal Champion at this point, like, why the fuck are you still here?
They did it once in his entire time. Why once?
Right.
It's one of the best wrestlers that you've had in the last 10 fucking years.
Right. And
because of your weird-ass 20 monkeys with a fucking ukulele and a dildo booking, the problem is that now Cesaro means nothing. And Seth Rollins winning it just kind of put that stamp on there that Cesaro cannot hang with the big boys. because Rollins is a big boy.
Right.
He's already established himself as being a great world champion contender, but Reigns is a heel.
Right.
And Rollins is a heel. It wouldn't make any sense for Rollins to face Reigns, and it would make any sense for Cesaro. Why would Cesaro get a Universal title match after losing?
Right.
So what's Reigns going to do? Is he going to wait until SummerSlam?
I don't know.
I just legitimately don't know what they're going to do. Unless they have Jimmy Uso facing Reigns for the Universal Champion.
No, they're going to have Rey Mysterio face him again, because that's a good idea.
Let's take him off of the pay-per-view, and let's do this. It's fine. Whatever. It was stupid. This was a really poor idea, but the match itself was good. And let's talk about our final one, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. So number one, a good rivalry going into it. Number two, a fantastic match. And number three, I'm done with it.
Me too.
I'm so done with this match. Keep these two on different brands for like 6 goddamn months. Because there's no way...
They're always running into each other. They're always crossing paths.
They're too good together. They're too talented separately. What can you do? Honestly, they want these two together clearly. But it's like, I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it.
Yep. Oh, and then before though, we should also talk about the fucking Universal Championship match, which was supposed to be on the pay-per-view, but they decided to compete with not only a hockey playoff game, but also with fucking AEW. Let's talk
and have it on SmackDown.
Let's talk about that really quick before we get off here, because I think it's worth mentioning.
I think it is, because it was a significant title match on the show in a Hell in a Cell match.
I don't like Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns in a rivalry. It just does not.
I do. I'm actually going to disagree with you on that.
I am not. That was a one-off pay-per-view thing. Obviously, Rey Mysterio lost, and that's it.
And here's my thing.
And now
the rivalry itself was fine going into it. I like the fact that with Rey Mysterio going into it for the sake of Roman Reigns injuring his son, a very easy, clean rivalry.
Rey and Dominic need to be in the tag team title picture. I don't know.
They're tag team champions.
They're not in the title picture for the tag team titles. They're not anywhere in the tag team division. They're always involved in Roman Reigns bullshit.
This is the first interaction. The Usos faced Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio for the tag team champions.
That's fine, but
Reigns went in and interfered. Dominic attacked Reigns, and Reigns threw Dominic out. I don't know why. Maybe Dominic is somewhat hurt. I don't know. But I feel like with Rey Mysterio being Rey goddamn motherfucking Mysterio facing Roman Reigns, that should have been on this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That would have sold some tickets. That would have done something. Or selling tickets is colloquial, obviously.
That would have put butts in seats.
That would have put butts in seats. People would have been interested because, number one, it was a good story going into it. Number two, a Roman Reigns match is very good. Number three, a Rey Mysterio match is very good, especially for the title and in Hell in a Cell. And actually, the match itself was good. I watched it. It was a really good match. I liked it.
But, of course, that's the only reason I ever wanted to watch that pay-per-view. Honestly, if it wasn't my job, I would have watched Hell in a Cell because I didn't care about any other match except for the Rey Mysterio
and then Drew McIntyre's match.
Don't care about that one.
Really?
I saw that 4 times. I don't give a fuck about...
At least with the Rey Mysterio Roman Reigns thing, it was fresh.
I don't give a fuck about Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley for the 4th fucking time.
At WrestleMania, that should have been it, but they didn't do that because they're morons. Great. Now they're done. So, I definitely think it should have been...
I fucking hope they're done.
It should have stayed on Hell in a Cell. Why did they do that? Because they were trying to compete with the fucking playoffs. The problem is, when you're trying to compete with the playoffs, don't compete with the playoffs.
You're going to lose every time.
Every time. There's no way you can win. Even when it was 1999, blah, 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 the numbers don't lie. They were always down.
Right.
They were always down at that time because of playoffs. I'm sorry, WWE, you cannot compete with other sports because you said it yourself. You're not a sport. Don't try to compete with UFC. Well, number one, you should not be compared to UFC, and maybe that'll be a topic for another day. But don't try to compete with them. Don't.
Right.
Try to do the best product you can do all the time, and people will watch. Right. The shit is not fucking hard.
All right. Anyways, on that note, we're going to end. But before we go, what are we discussing next week?
So, next week, because things are opening back up, we have tours going on, especially with AEW going on the road, I think like next week. And WWE right around the corner. We're going to talk about the COVID era. Not just our show with the Pro Wrestling Zone, because it changed a lot between then and now. Mm-hmm. Not only with the wrestling industry as a whole, but the television.
We're gonna go brand by brand. And
we're gonna go. We're gonna go really in depth and really deconstruct a lot of it. What they did well, what they did wrong, a lot of this. So what's going to happen? There's no wrestling lesson. There's no heckling from the hard camera. It's gonna be one free form discussion all the way through. We're not gonna do any pauses and no breaks.
And it's gonna be on Saturday.
Yes. The show is going to be on Saturday because, number one, 4th of July is on Sunday.
No. That's the following week.
Oh, sorry, that's the following week.
Mothership
is here. So, actually, she's going to be going out that night, so it's actually a good time to do that. So, stay tuned for that. It will be posted here on YouTube, which you should subscribe to if you haven't yet. Like the video, comment down below, and share it with your friends. Join our Patreon because we have great perks, and it's not based on your patronage, but how many. So if you share it around and get people on there, it's like $5 a month. You get different content, and the more people join, the more content people get. So definitely share it with your peeps, and we'll do the shows regardless.
And should we do another live episode because it's this one big freeform whatever?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about it. I'm not sure yet.
Live TBD, but we are definitely going to talk about COVID.
I will announce that if we determine if it's going to or not on the social media here, which you should follow on the Flow page down below. We'll actually link you to pretty much everything.
Yep.
And as always, be
majestic.